Welcome to lecture 13 on numerical analysis, that is paper 2 of BSc 5th semester, Rani Chennamma University. So in the last class, that is in lecture 12, we have seen how to solve simultaneous linear algebraic equations by using iteration method. So we have seen what is a linear equation, what is system of linear equations. So ax1 plus b1y plus c1z equal to d1. So if this is a system and this system is solvable by iterative method only if it is diagonally dominant. Okay, so it is diagonally dominant. We have seen in the last class the condition is sufficient but not necessary. So we have seen the first method, that is Jacobi iteration method. In the Jacobi iteration method, what we are going to do, we first see that the given system is diagonally dominant. After that we solve for x, y, z. Then we go for the iteration process, taking x naught, y naught, z naught as the first iteration. Okay, using x1, y1, z1, we get the second iteration. Okay, and so on. The procedure is continued till the convergence is assured. Okay, so we have seen an example also, solve a system of linear equations by Jacobi iteration method, and we have seen that this is diagonally dominant. Okay, so then we have seen that the coefficient matrix is diagonally dominant since this mod 10 is greater than mod 5 plus mod minus 2 and so on. So by Jacobi iteration method, so we solve for x, y, z. So from equation 1 solve for x, so from 2 solve for y, and from 3 solve for z. We get these three expressions for x, y, z. Okay, so now let us start with the initial values 0, 0, 0. Using these values in 1, 2 and 3 we get the first iteration. So using these values in the 1, 2, 3 we get again the second iteration and so on. And finally we have arrived at the approximate values of x, y and z. Okay, so now let us think for a while. Okay, so let us go back to the Jacobi iteration method. Okay, so now let us think something new in this. Okay, so what we have here, we have considered a system of linear equations. Okay, and we have seen that they are diagonally dominant. Fine, so therefore the iterative method can be used for the system on, then solve for x, y and z. This is also fine. Okay, but now when we are using the initial condition to obtain first iteration, we have obtained x1, y1 and z1, right? So later, but while using these values in the second iteration, so we got x2, we get x2. So when we got x2, still we are using x1 in the y2. So that means what we are doing, we are not using the latest root. So this is the latest root. Okay, this is the latest value for x2, x. Okay, this is the latest value for x. But when you get the x2, or you can come to the first iteration only. See here, when you are using x1 to find the x1, what you are doing, we are going to use y0 and z0. But to find y1, we are again using x0 and z0. Instead, can you use x1 in place of x0? Is it possible? Yeah. So if you are going to use the latest value of xyz in the iterations, in the following iterations, then we are going to get the root more accurately. See here, we got x1 and that x1 is used here in place of x0. So we got y1. So in place of x0, x1 is used. In place of y0, y1 is used. If we are replacing these values, okay, instead of taking just the initial values x0, y0 and z0 for solving all these three equations, if you are using the latest root, if you are using latest root, then the system of linear equations converges more faster than the Jacobi method, and this method is known as Gauss-Seidel method. Okay, Gauss-Seidel method. So that we are going to see now. So what we do in the Jacobi iteration, we just go on taking the initial values. We don't use the latest root. Okay, so I'll remark it here. So please note, in Jacobi iteration method, so we don't use latest value of x, y, z. We don't use latest value of x, y, and z. Instead, what we are going to use? We use initial values. Initial values. So we use initial values for finding all x, y, z. So whereas if you use the latest root, that is x1 in finding y1 and x1 and y1 in finding z1, then if you are going to use the latest root, then it is going to be the Gauss-Seidel method, which we are going to do now. Okay. So I hope the Jacobi iteration is clear, where you are going to use the initial values to find all x, y, z. So now we are going to take one more method, that is Gauss-Seidel method. So the question will be like this: describe Gauss-Seidel method to solve system of linear equations. So this can also be asked for 5 marks in the examination. Okay. So now again, see, up to this, consider the system from here to up to this step, everything is same as Jacobi iteration. Okay. So here also we have the system a1x plus b1y plus c1z equal to d1 and so on. So we see that this system is solvable if it is diagonally dominant. So the iteration method can be used for system 1. So now we solve for x, y, z. So up to this step, it is same for Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel. So up to this step, same for Jacobi also and Gauss-Seidel. So up to this step, it is same for both Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel. So in the Jacobi, what we do, we use y naught, x naught, y naught and z naught in the initial approximation. So but here we have y naught, z naught and x naught, y naught and z naught as the initial value. But what we are going to do, after finding x1, so this is x1, so we are using y naught and z naught, fine, initial values. So but when finding y1, we are going to use the latest root, here instead of x naught. So if you are using x naught and z naught again, then it is Jacobi method. If you are using latest root, then it is Gauss-Seidel method. Okay, you got the only difference. So the difference between Gauss-Seidel and Jacobi. Right. So here also, while finding y1, we are using x1, which is latest root already we have, instead of x naught. So z naught we don't have latest root, therefore we keep as it is. While finding z1, we use the latest root x1 and y1. Okay. So this root is used here. Right. So that's all. The only difference is you are going to use the latest root in the Gauss-Seidel method, whereas initial values to find all x1, y1 and z1 in Jacobi iteration method. So next steps, everything is same. So second iteration, we are using y1 and z1. In y2, already x2 is available. The latest root is available. It is x2. So that we are going to use here to find y2, and z1, latest root is z1 only. So while finding Z2, X2 is available and Y2 is available. We are making use of both these latest values, in finding Z2. Okay. So this is how the iteration process of Gauss-Seidel method continues. The procedure is continued till the convergence is assured. Okay. Here also the same thing. So correct to required decimal places. Okay. So now once again I will repeat the Gauss-Seidel method. So in the Gauss-Seidel method, what we do is we have the system of linear equations and we see that it is diagonally dominant. So what this meaning? The meaning of this is diagonally, the coefficient matrix is diagonally dominant. The coefficient matrix is diagonally dominant. Okay. So then the iteration process can be applied. So we solve for x, y, z. Solve for x, y, z. So solve for x, y, z. So then we get this system. So say this is a equation Roman 1, Roman 2 and Roman 3. Okay. So up to this step it is same for Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel. So now we are discussing Gauss-Seidel, therefore we are going to use x naught, y naught, z naught as initial values. So to find first iteration of x, so we are using y naught and z naught. To find first iteration of y1, we are using the x1 as the latest root. We have latest root, we are going to use x1. So we are keeping z0 same because it is the latest root. So to find z1, we are using x1 and y1. Okay. So this process continues till the convergence is assured. Okay. So now we shall solve the same example which are solved by Jacobi iteration method. Now we are going to use the solve this by Gauss-Seidel method. Solve by Gauss-Seidel method. So instead of Jacobi iteration, we are going to solve this by Gauss-Seidel method. So before that, I would like to mention the few significant difference between Gauss-Seidel and Jacobi iteration. So in Jacobi iteration, okay, and this is Gauss-Seidel. Gauss-Seidel, SEIDL. Right. So here what we do, initial values. So that is x0, y0, z0 are used to find all x1, y1 and z1. So that means to find all the first iteration x, y, z, we are going to use this initial value. Here what we do in Jacobi iteration, so here initial value x0, y0 and z0 is used only to find x1. Okay. So later x1 is used to find y1 and x1 and y1 are used to find z1. Okay. So are you following the significant difference? See here, to find all x1, y1, z1, we are using what? We are using only we are using only to find all x1, y1, z1, we are using only the initial values x0, y0 and z0. That means to find x1 also we are using y0 and z0, to find y1 also we are using x0 and z0. Okay. To find z1 also we are using x0 and y0. See how it will be. So to find x1, so it is going to be 1 by a1, I think. Okay. Yeah, 1 by a1. So you take this 1 by a1 into d1 minus, this is 1 by a1 into d1 minus b1 y0 minus c1 z0. Okay. So this is for same, here also it is same for x1. So that is 1 by a1 into d1 minus b1 y0 minus c1 z0. Okay. So now to find y1, so now to find y1, so 1 by b2. So y will have 1 by b2, I think. Yeah, 1 by b2. So 1 by b2 into d2 minus a1 x0, here we are using x0, okay, minus c1 z0. So here in Gauss Seidel, to find y1 we are making use of this latest root. So 1 by b2 into d2 minus a1 x1 we are going to use a2, I think. Yeah, a2 and c2. So here it is not a1, it is a2 and c2. So a2 x1 we are using minus c2 z0. Okay. So now to get z, okay, to get z, so to get z1, what we are going to use, 1 by c3 into d3 minus a3 x0 minus b3 z0. Okay. So but here to find z1, what we are going to use, 1 by c3 into d3 minus a3 x1, we are making use of latest root, minus b3 into, so this is y here, so there we have to fill with y. Okay. So b3 y0, so here also b3 y1. So now I think you are easily finding the difference. So what is the difference in x1, both side it is same, while finding y1 you are using x0 in Jacobi iteration. Okay. We are finding in the Jacobi iteration we are using x0 to find y1, but here in the Gauss Seidel you are using x1, that is latest root, already you got x1 and you are using the same while calculating y1. Okay. So this is the difference you can find in the x1, while finding x1 there is no difference. So in finding z1 you are again using x0 and y0, but here in the Gauss Seidel while using z1, while finding z1 we are using x1 and y1, which are latest root. So this is what the difference between the Jacobi iteration and Gauss Seidel method. Okay, hope you understood. Yeah, after understanding this difference between the Jacob iteration and Gauss seidel. Now we can solve this easily by Gauss seidel method. Okay. Yeah. So now see the previous solution. Yeah. So by Jacob iteration, so this system is again given. So up to here it is same. Up to here it is same for Jacob iteration. Up to here it is same for Jacob iteration as well as Gauss seidel. Okay. After this step, here we are using x1 again instead of here we are using x0 here x0. So here if you replace by x1, then it is Gauss seidel method. Okay. So that we shall see in the next lecture, how to solve problems based on Gauss seidel method, and then after that we combine both the methods, Jacobi iteration and Gauss seidel, and we see which method converges faster and which is later. Okay, those all things we with the comparison table we shall explain in the next class. Thank you.